Hello viewer, a warm welcome to Elimu TV where you exclusively watch and learn. I am a teacher, Madam Christine Okoth, taking you through the 9th lesson of biology from 3, and today we're going to talk about Chilopoda, and you're still under the Arthropoda. So welcome. A review of what you're going to learn today. First, we're going to look at the previous assignments and the lesson that we learned last time. Then we're going to look at the Chilopodas, and we're going to look at the general characteristic of Chilopoda. And lastly, I'm going to give you an assignment. So let us start by looking at the previous assignment. Question number 1 was, the chemical released by millipedes are composed of which compounds? And we said in our last lesson that the main compounds which are released by the millipedes, this one is like a defensive mechanism. They will release either hydrogen, cyanide, and hydrochloric acid, which have an effect on our skin. They can either burn the skin. Then, the next assignment, question number 2, Question number 2, name the 5 classes of Arthropoda, and in each class, give at least 5 examples of an organism which is found in that specific class. So we have 5 classes. Number 1, we have the Diplopoda. An example of an organism found in Diplopoda is the millipedes, which we talked about in the previous lesson. We looked at the characteristics of the millipede, that is the Diplopoda. Then we have Chilopoda, the next class, which comprises mainly of the Centipede. We also have another class called the arachnids or arachnida, which comprises of the spiders and the scorpion. And lastly, we have this class we call Insecta. An example of an organism of these insecta we have. Today we're going to base our lesson on Chilopoda. Last time we based our lesson on Diplopoda. So what exactly are these Chilopodas? These are organisms that have a very flat body with legs they have a pair of legs in each segment. An example of an organism which is found in this class, we have the centipede. As you look at the illustration here, we have a centipede there. Its body is very flat, which is compared to the Diplopodas, the millipede. Their bodies are cylindrical. Then they have a pair of legs in each segment, which is different from the Diplopoda. They had 2 pairs of legs in each segment. So this one, they only have a pair of legs in each segment. Another characteristic of the Chilopoda, we have the bodies are divided into segments. That is, we have the head and the segmented track. So the segments can range either from 15 to 21 segments. So their bodies are divided either into, they have the head and the trunk, which is made of different segments. Then another characteristic of the Chilopoda, they are carnivorous. That means that they feed on flesh. So these ones are carnivorous, while the other Diplopodas were herbivorous. Another characteristic that is found in the Chilopoda, they have claws which are very poisonous. So in each segment, the first set are made of the claws. So those claws contain a toxic substance. Then another characteristic of the Chilopoda, either they have simple eyes or compound eyes, or some of them will end up having no eye. Then there's also a pair of antennae which is attached at the head. Another characteristic of the Chilopoda is in terms of how they breathe. So how do they breathe? They have tiny pores along the segmented bodies, which we call the spiracles. So they will let in oxygen through those spiracles, and they will also release the carbon dioxide through the same spiracles. So here is a video that is going to explain more on the characteristic of the Chilopoda, that is mainly the centipedes, and be keen because it is also explaining on the reproduction of the centipede, and it's very interesting way in which the centipedes reproduce. So enjoy the video.
Here are some interesting facts about centipedes. The centipede can be found worldwide and has even been spotted inside the Arctic Circle. Centipedes live in damp environments. Scientists believe that this is because the centipede's body does not retain moisture very well. There are an estimated 8,000 species of centipede throughout the world. The Amazonian giant centipede is the largest existing species in the world. They can reach over 30 centimeters in length. Centipedes have long, segmented bodies covered in a strong, flexible exoskeleton. Each segment has its own pair of legs. They also have a pair of antennas on their head. Despite popular belief, centipedes do not have 100 legs. A centipede can have as few as 15 pairs of legs, or as many as 171 pairs of legs. Regardless of the species, centipedes always have an odd number of leg pairs, so they never have exactly 100 legs. The first segment of legs on a centipede are not for walking. Instead, they contain poison, which they use to inject paralyzing venom into their prey. Centipedes catch and eat invertebrates, including spiders, insects, and even other centipedes. Some larger species can consume frogs and even small birds. The centipede will usually wrap itself around the prey and wait for the venom to take effect before consuming the meal. Centipedes do not copulate. In order to reproduce, the male centipede will spin a small web and deposit his sperm inside. The male will often perform a courtship dance to encourage the female to engulf his sperm. After fertilizing the eggs, the female centipede usually buries her eggs in the soil and leaves them to hatch on their own, although some species of centipede are known to nurse their eggs and look after their babies. Some centipedes can live up to 6 years old. The centipede is one of the oldest creatures on Earth. They have been found in fossils dating back over 400 million years ago. Thank you very much for listening. For more videos about wildlife, please subscribe.
I hope you have learned something from that video, and that video marks the end of our lesson. So for our assignment today, we're going to have a crossword puzzle. So across, this is just the words that we have learned in this lesson and also in the previous lesson regarding the arthropods. So across, the first question what you are expected, you find the name of the fluid body cavity that is found in the arthropods. It's a 9-letter word, that is across. Then 5 still across, get the name that it refers to the characteristics of the arthropods being able to be equally divided into 2 equal halves. That is a 9-letter word. Then 7 still across. It is a phylum where animals have a backbone. It's an 8-letter word. 8 across, it's an exoskeleton which is found in arthropods. It's a 6-letter word. Then when you go down, crabs, lobster, crayfish, shrimp, they belong to this class. So get the name of that class. It comprises of 9 letters. Then 3 down, if it's not prokaryotic cell, it is. So get the name of which defines if something is not a prokaryotic cell, it means it is that other one. So get that word. It is a 10-letter word. Then 4 down, and openings or the openings which are found on the side of the body segment of arthropods, they are used for breathing, is a 9-letter word, and we've just discussed about it. Then 6 down, and finally, spiders, scorpions, ticks belong to this class. So it's a 9-letter word. Find that word and fill the puzzle. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, you can write to us. You can also write any feedback, any question, any clarification you'd like to have known. So our Facebook page is Elimu TV. You can write to us. Our Twitter handle is at Elimu_KE, and also keep the SMSs coming. Our SMS number is 225